Today we're diving into something mind-blowing that'll challenge your thoughts on life, choices, and what comes next. Do you know what the Bible and science say about the concept of life after death? We're about to unravel a cosmic dance between science, spirituality, and the power of your decisions, with concepts that challenges us to reflect on the choices we make now and how they impact our future. In the Bible, we read in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 16, verse 19, what Jesus said about the parable of the rich man and Lazarus. There was a certain rich man who was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously every day. But there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, full of sores, who was laid at his gate, desiring to be fed with the crumbs that fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. So it was that the beggar died and was carried by the angels to Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. And being in torments in Hades, he lifted his eyes and saw Abraham afar off and Lazarus in his bosom. Then he cried and said, "Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame." But Abraham said, "Son, remember that in your lifetime you received your good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and you are tormented. And besides all this, between us and you there is a great gulf fixed, so that those who want to pass from here to you cannot, nor can those from there pass to us." Now let's dive into the context of this verse. This verse relates to the passage where Jesus spoke about what happened to the rich man and the beggar Lazarus, two men who existed. Jesus mentioned that when they died, each of their souls had different destinations. Lazarus went to Abraham's side. He was saved. And the rich man? He went to hell. Now it's important to note that Lazarus wasn't saved just because he was a beggar. It was because he trusted in God, while the rich man, despite his wealth, did not because he relied on his riches. In hell, the rich man addressed Abraham, who was in heaven, with a request. However, Abraham explained that there was an unbridgeable gap between them, and it was impossible for anyone to pass from one side to the other. This verse raises a crucial question. What is the context of this passage? This verse speaks about the choices we make in life, choices that determine our eternal destiny. Imagine the rich man, accustomed to having everything at his command, now realizing that there is no way to change his fate. The choices he made in life led him to this point. This narrative emphasizes the significance of our choices, considering eternity. It illustrates that our decisions in this life have eternal consequences, and once we cross that threshold called death, there is no turning back. It's a sobering reality that each of us must confront. Now, let's explore the concept of wanting. I emphasize the phrase, "those who want to," in verse 26. When we talk about wanting, it is a powerful concept linked to our will, choices, and decisions. In each of us, there is a highly respected aspect of the spiritual realm known as free will or free choice. When we come into this world, we don't choose where we are born or which family we belong to. We simply come into existence. As children, we have limited choices. Our parents decide for us. But as we grow and gain awareness, a time comes when we start making our own choices. Consider a young child going to school. Initially, the parents choose the clothes, but as the child grows, they express their preferences. They start making choices, what clothes to wear, what food to eat, and so on. This marks the beginning of a journey where the child starts asserting their will. As parents, you may guide your child in their choices, but as they enter adolescence and adulthood, they increasingly make decisions independently. There comes a point when a young adult may say, "I am in charge of my own life." They develop wings and may choose to leave, and you as a parent cannot interfere. Even God respects our free will. He does not force us into obedience or love. Love is not a feeling. It is a choice. If you were compelled to love God, believe in God, or fear God, how would God distinguish between those who genuinely choose to follow Him and those who don't? Therefore, God grants us free will and the power to choose. When you come into this world, you have no say in where you are born or which family you are born into. But as you grow, you gain the ability to make choices. Now, let's touch on a scientific perspective. I recently read an article by scientists and neurologists explaining what science has discovered about the human experience as one approaches death. A neurosurgeon pointed out that as the body is dying, the organs prioritize keeping the brain and heart functioning. But when the brain stops, termed brain death, even if other organs are still working, consciousness ceases and the person effectively ceases to exist. Studies on near-death experiences indicate that individuals often have a flashback of their life's significant moments before losing consciousness. This is termed a moment of superconsciousness. It's as if a film is playing on the screen of their mind, showing pivotal events in their life. Why does this happen? Why does God allow this flashback before one loses consciousness permanently? Perhaps it serves as a final reminder of the choices one made during their life, a last opportunity for reflection on the chances for salvation that were offered and rejected. Now let's bring it back to the biblical context. The verse in Hebrews 9:27 reinforces this idea, stating, "And as it is appointed for men to die once, but after this, the judgment." This verse underscores the finality of our earthly choices. We live once, and after that comes judgment. There's no room for additional choices or changes once we cross that threshold called death. In our current lives, we have the power to choose. After death, there's no choice anymore. It's a one-way journey. The decisions we make in this life have eternal consequences. The rich man in the parable had lived a life of luxury, making choices according to his desires and traveling wherever he wanted. But in the end, his ability to choose was taken away. He had no say in his eternal destination. I urge you to reflect on this. Consider the weight of your choices and the power of your will. You get a chance to choose now, but there will come a moment when that choice is no longer available. Just as the rich man couldn't choose to cross the chasm, after death we won't have the option to change our destiny. This life is a period of choice, and once it ends, the opportunity to decide our eternal fate concludes. In conclusion, the passage in Luke 16:19-26 teaches us about the permanence of choices and the finality of our decisions after death. We are currently in a season of choosing, and the power of our will is respected by God. It is the gift of free will that distinguishes genuine love and obedience. The scientific perspective on near-death experiences aligns with the biblical idea that there is a moment of reflection before consciousness is lost, emphasizing the significance of our life choices. Let this message resonate with you. While you can choose now, the time will come when that choice is no longer yours. Live your life with the awareness that each decision matters not only in the present, but also in eternity. Seek God, make choices that align with His will, and understand that the chasm between life and death is a one-way passage. May this understanding guide your decisions and lead you to a life that is pleasing to God. If you found inspiration in this message, drop an amen below. Now you can dive deeper into the spiritual realm with my video talking about spiritual warfare. Trust me, it's a journey you don't want to miss. Wishing you continued blessings.